Brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Walma,
I'm Jen Frasina.
I'm Bruce Umstead.
Steve Smargon.
and this is Creativity Wasted. So I'll do my idea. Normally I have these big tech ideas. This one is not one of those.
Hey.
So my mom just got through a health issue, and I moved over here near her just in case it was worse than it was. I'll say it. She had breast cancer and she was on chemo, but she sort of breezed through it and didn't really need help much. But I did mow her lawn. I hadn't mowed lawns in years. And so an idea popped into my head, why can't you have a weed whacker that sort of mounts on top of the lawnmower? So if you're mowing the lawn and you get to the corner of the lawn where you would need to weed whack, you can just pick it up and weed whack, because otherwise you have to go all the way around the yard and mowing and then go back, grab the weed whacker and go all the way back out again. Wouldn't it be cool if you could save time by having the weed whacker built into the lawnmower?
What if it was
Hey,
almost like an attachment, though? Like a vacuum cleaner, how you have the attachments and you can just have the attachment instead of it being built in. So that way you can pull it off and use it in all sorts of different spaces. But it's still on your
Yeah.
lawnmower.
Yeah, so it mounts, but it's not attached by a wire.
Yeah. So you could still take something off. I wonder if they have something like that.
Yeah, I thought that'd be cool. And then you wouldn't have to find a place on the garage wall to hang it. So that'd be a plus too. And then I thought, I always having not mowed the lawn in a while and then having to a mower I'm not used to. It's so you want to mow the track is you want to get through it as quick as you can, but you don't know exactly how wide the blade is under the mower because it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the mower. They never. I always thought, well, they should put a little marker at the front of the lawnmower, indicating how wide the blade is, so it would be easier to. So you're not remowing part of it because you don't know how wide the blade is. But then I thought, well, if you're gonna have the weed whacker on it, couldn't you just have it always in front of the front wheel and function as the actual an additional blade for the normal lawn mowing too? So then, first of all, you could see it, so you would know how wide the tracks need to be, because it would literally stick out past the side of the lawnmower on both sides. You maybe have two of them, and then maybe you could have even the third removable one, or you could have one of them be removable to get spots that you can't get by pushing the mower, something like that.
I like it.
I recently saw, because I rent, but I have a dog, so my landlord doesn't do the mowing as often as she needs to. So I was thinking about getting one of those manual push ones that have the rotating blades. So I was researching
Oh,
those.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. It's a small yard. But did you know they have Roomba lawnmowers? That's a thing already.
Yeah, that was just something I was thinking about. A Roomba
They
lawnmower.
have those. Yeah.
Do they?
They're very expensive. And I'd be scared, but because a Roomba have blades connected to it, and if it goes crazy, which mine often does, it's not gonna chop body parts off. I don't know how safe they are.
I don't know is it a full blade too, or is it like a weed whacker? Because you'd think you could make it with a weed whacker wire. That's if it does go crazy. I mean, it hurts to get hit by a weed whacker blade, but it's not going to chop your leg off.
True. I don't know, but I
Right.
saw that on Amazon. I thought that was I didn't realize we were already there. So
Was it thousands, over 1,000?
yeah, it was over $1,000. It was maybe
Yeah.
1,500, 1,600.
I think it'll be one of those things that 5 years from now, it'll be when you go buy a DVD player, it started off as $1,200 and now they're $35. I think that's what will happen with the Roomba lawnmower.
But you'd also have to program it, and I don't think a lot of people have the patience to do that because I think you can't just, like, go put it outside. I think you have to program, like, your lawn size, I'm assuming, 'cause how does it stop? Just keeps going or
Probably be like some type of app where you put in like your lawn measurements or dimensions, or you take a picture of it, and then
yeah,
it just goes into it.
yeah. Because I know you can I've never done this, but I know you can, like, program your Roombas, and I've never done that with mine. I just let it be free.
I've never had a Roomba. I've heard multiple stories of comics saying that if a dog shit, it would just smear it all over the
Yeah.
place. Like to this
Okay,
day, like go
who's
ahead.
letting their dog shit in their house? That's a person problem. It sounds like they're just not very good at dog ownership.
I guess because since my mom's been sick, I've been living at my sister's house here, and I guess it didn't shit, but it does puke. The cat pukes once in a while on the carpet.
Mm,
Yeah.
So the Roomba would, if she had a Roomba, it would spread all over.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
gross.
but you'd think they would have solved that by now.
Your living room looks like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know
Ugh.
if the energy savings is worth it if that could happen. That's like
Yeah,
you gotta call
Our
somebody.
our job is just to come up with the ideas. It's not to make them practical.
it's true.
Yeah.
See, we're just
I
putting it
will
out there
say
in the
though,
universe. We'll put it out there in the universe, and then the universe can deal with it, and however it happens, I think it was very
it's
productive so
true.
far.
What were you gonna say, Jen?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've I've had my Roomba for a while. I know this is backtracking a little bit, but I don't think I've ever turned my Roomba on without like looking and making like picking up the floor before I turn it on. So I don't know who just like lets it go without
Oh, I
doing
didn't know
their
people like it's
due
like
diligence.
dishwashing. You pre-wash and then you start the Roomba. I thought it just like
Yeah.
plugged itself into the wall and you never thought about vacuuming again. I didn't know you had to like prep it.
You can program it, but mine I always turn on, like, so there's, like, a clicker, but, yeah, I make sure, like, the dog toys and stuff are picked up before. So, I don't know, I just think
It's
that's
like
just
when you have a kid and they start crawling
mhm,
and you put them down on the floor. You have to do a quick scan. Go, all right, what's on the floor that might kill them? You know,
yeah.
Yeah, I
that's how
never
I did
understood
it.
the Roomba too, because I've never had pets or kids, and it's like I only vacuum every 4 months unless I spill something, and everything's
What?
fine. I don't get sick. I don't. It doesn't look dirty. It's like some people vacuum like every week. That just sounds insane to me. Like, why would anybody? And then it's like, well, oh, I want to see the tracks. Like I've heard people say, I want to see the vacuum
Yeah,
tracks so I know it's clean. It's like, is it really necessary to
right.
vacuum every week? Like, what's the optimal level?
Tom, just because you don't have pets doesn't mean, like, your skin dandruff and your hair isn't getting all over your house.
Yeah, you strike me as someone that like you would spring for like Stanley Steamer to come in one time, and then it's like there's like a chicken pot pie in the fibers of your rug because you never vacuum, and they're showing it to you, and you're like horrified. You're like, my God, when the hell did I eat that?
So you're both
And
on
then
the
you're
vacuum
thinking,
every week train?
they,
I probably vacuum a little bit more than that, but yes.
The whole house? Not just like near like the trash
Um,
or the kitchen or somewhere that might get.
the whole house is probably once a week, but I spot vacuum regularly because of the dog. So, like, the big
Yeah,
carpets
well,
are once a
this
week, but,
seems
like
insane to me. That's like way too much effort. I also do a thing where I don't want to have to take out the trash more than once a week. So I got two in my apartment. I had two trash cans, and one had a lid on it. So I put the food in that one so that it wouldn't stink. And then like the paper plates that don't have food or like the boxes, they would fill up the one without the lid. So then I only had to take out trash once a week, two
was
trash
it, like, a
cans.
far walk? Was it a far walk to take the trash out?
Just why do shit when you don't have to? I don't know. I'm like that. Like I don't like living with my sisters when my mom had cancer here. Like she puts things on top of the freezer in the garage. So every time, like the chest freezer. So every time you open it, you've got to take the thing off and then open it. That annoys the shit out of me. Like why would you add that extra step? Like I would never if it was my household. Like I threw away the small forks because I only want one size of fork because it takes too much effort to after the dishwashing to sort the forks into the two different sizes. Like why would I waste an extra 30 seconds when there's no benefit to me to have two size forks? It would
Or
annoy me every time that I'm wasting that much time.
then why buy two sizes of forks?
They just come in that the big spoon, little spoon, big fork, small
Did you
fork.
throw away the spoons too then and just kept one size spoon?
Well, to be honest, I didn't throw them away. I just threw them in a drawer somewhere, like
Mm.
where it's out of the way. One size spoon, one size fork, so I don't have to sort them out. And then, well, like the big giant ones for like stirring macaroni or in a pot or whatever.
Here's the real question. How often do you wash your bed sheets?
Not that often. I just washed them today, actually,
That's great. That's great news. I'm
but I don't want to
happy to
give
hear.
the frequency. I
That's enough
do
said, I think.
I do sometimes work out and then not shower, so I do have to wash the bed sheets every few weeks because then
Yeah,
otherwise they'll
I
smell
can
like
see
sweat.
I can see why you're not a fan of the damage meter.
Oh, really? Okay. I would be on the hygiene
She's
would
like
be
she's
red.
looking at her Apple Watch. She goes, washes sheets once every 2 weeks. It's like,
Once a
okay, I
month?
gotta go. I gotta go. It's nice to meet you. Bye.
But the lawn mowing thing, I guess it's like the least funny idea ever. But um,
I think
any
it's
thoughts
I
on the
like it.
lawn mowing thing, combining the weed whacker and the lawnmower?
I think it's a winner. Yeah, write something up and send it to one of the lawnmower companies.
I have a joke that doesn't really work. I said that you should have the lawn on a giant platform, and then as the grass grows, you can just lower it. Doesn't quite make sense because it would be patchy, different lengths everywhere. But I did have the thought that, well, if you're going to have three weed whackers on the mower, do you even need the mower? And just have it be a lawnmower made of weed whackers. But then I thought, well, that might turn into annoying maintenance thing, especially if the length of the weed whacker wire doesn't. I've had one that was really nice, and then I've had one that it would like it wouldn't load right, and it would either be really tiny or it'd be really wide, and it'd be like smacking me in the foot.
I also think that would make it where it would be harder to get the same length, like uniform like length cut off. With a weed whacker, it's more manual, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on how it mounted on there for one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
maybe sometimes it would like maybe the weed whacker just sort of bends the
Right.
grass down instead of cutting it so that it would stick back up after you passed it. So maybe it wouldn't actually function. Maybe you wouldn't be able to walk full speed and still cut. Like it wouldn't, maybe it wouldn't work.
Okay.
But if it could, that
Or
would be cool.
I'd like to add an attachment to this idea of, you know how like a lot of lawnmowers have like bag attachments and then you have just like a bag of like yard waste you have to deal with? What if it went into like a chamber, so instead of a bag it's just like this like fireproof thing that it sets everything on fire so you don't have to do anything with the yard waste?
Oh, that would be
That'd be
cool. Like a fire thing, because the problem with those bag things is they fill up after you do like two passes, and it's like you got to stop mowing and empty the stupid bag like
yeah.
over and over again. But if you could just burn it and it could just keep up with your mowing, like burn it faster than it's accumulating in there, that would be awesome.
Mhm. And then you wouldn't have to deal with
Probably
yard waste.
probably dangerous though. Like the amount that it would have to burn, the fire is like right there.
It'd
If
be
it
contained.
happened
It'd be
to,
contained.
I guess you'd have to, yeah.
I think
I
it'd be
like it.
cool though.
Yeah, I think there's room for innovation in the lawn mowing thing other than just having robots do it.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of electric mowers and like it's insane the amount of emissions that those like gas mowers and gas weed whackers do.
Yeah.
I, I was Googling it before this recording like yesterday, and I was getting some conflicting info, but they said 1 hour of lawn mowing is equivalent pollution of between 75 and 100 miles driven in a car. It's just like insane, like how much emissions they do. And if it's like just with 2 electric weed whackers, like on both sides, like in front of both wheels, if it could like double the width of the mowing track, so
Right.
you're like only using half as much gas because half of it's being mowed by the electric weed whackers. That would be environmentally friendly too.
Well, you could incorporate like the mechanics of those manual push mowers too that just go by the rotating blades. So you could always maybe do a component like that too to reduce emissions.
Yeah, when I grew up, I lived next to a woman who was the ex who was balding, and a morbidly obese man who she was married to, who would always yell at us and call the police on us if our basketball bounced in their yard. But they had the one good part of their personality is they had the environmental friendly mower that spun like that. I didn't hear what you said there, but
Sorry, my mic was on mute. No, I said that's crazy. That's wild to me.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would be dangerous to have the weed whackers like extending beyond the width of the mower. If kids would like attack their neighbors, chase each other with a lawnmower, trying to hit each other with the weed whacker thing. Although they could do that with a weed whacker, I suppose. If there would be injuries or shenanigans with putting a weed whacker on a lawnmower, I don't know.
I don't think any different than what already happens occurs with that kind of equipment.
Yeah. Well, any last thoughts on the lawnmower weed whacker thing?
I think if you
Dual.
bought something like that, you'd have to sign some type of waiver that says you would not allow any shenanigans to happen.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, you'd be liable. So,
I could have Hank Hill as the spokesman.
exactly.
This has been a production of Planet Ant Podcast, powered by Pinecast.